Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Edmund Ironside, and we get to hear from Edmund again today. We heard from him yesterday. We actually just met him yesterday. Remember, he's the one that has actually been named king by the English people, whereas the Danish Canutus thinks that he should be king instead. But Canutus is also holding Turkillus and Leofric's sons captive, which is part of the reason why they were on his side and maybe loyal to him. But they've decided that it's really not fair that their kids are being held captive and they are of a higher status in life than some other people, Edricus, who are honored more in Canutus's court than they are. So Turkillus and Leofric decided that they're going to go sort of surrender themselves to Edmund. And at the top of Act 1, Scene 3, which we saw yesterday, Edmund was talking to his primary advisor, and he was like, the soldiers are all taken care of, right? And the advisor's like, yep, I check on them daily, and they're paid, they're fed, they're clothed. And Edmund was like, good, I believe that. We got to take care of our own people, because if you don't, then bad things happen. And hey, who are these two guys walking up? And Turkillus and Leofric enter, and Turkillus is like, my liege, I'm so sorry. We are English-born men, but we were siding with Canutus, and we know that that's terrible, but we've come to sort of surrender to you, to either face our deaths for being traitors, or to help you if you will let us come and join your side. And Edmund responds saying, rise up, Turkillus. Leofric, arise. Give me your hands, and with your hands, your hearts. I more esteem the life of one true subject than the destruction of 1,000 foes. One sheep that was lost I more rejoice to find than 20 other which I never missed. A friend of whose return I stood in doubt is more welcome to me than 40 other. Oh, that when strangers cannot conquer us, we should conspire with them against ourselves. England, if ever war thy face doth spoil, thank not the outward foe, but inward friend. For thou shalt never perish till that day, when thy right hand shall make thy heart away. Go in, brave lords, your sight doth me more joy than Agamemnon when he conquered Troy. So Edmund welcomes them back with open arms, with an open heart. He's thrilled that they've come back. And it's sort of interesting what he talks about here. The first place that my mind went was the old marketing adage that it's cheaper to keep an existing customer than to acquire new ones. What he's saying is, I would rather have one true follower than get rid of all of my enemies. I'd rather have one person on my side than have all of my enemies gone. Or I'm much happier to find the thing that I lost than to see all of the things that I already have. And, he says, a friend whose return I stood in doubt. So a friend who I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to reconcile with is more welcome in my home than anyone else, than the people who I know everything's fine with. Which is maybe, I don't think he intends it as dismissive against the things that he has or the other friends that he has faith in, whatever, but he's trying to make them feel welcome. And then the second half of this speech, he talks about how, and I think that this speaks to the fact that Turkillus and Leofric are both Englishmen, and they've come back to side with England. He's like, you know what? If England is ever going to fall apart, it's because we're warring with ourselves. It's not because anybody exterior or external is going to come and take us over and slaughter us and win the day. It's because we're going to tear ourselves apart from the inside. And in this speech, Edmund is choosing to not do that. He's choosing to not punish his fellow Englishmen for having made a mistake. He welcomes them home and says that he is overjoyed to see them. And that's the end of Act 1, Scene 3. So we've got Canutus on the one side, and then we've got Edmund on the other side. Can you see where all of this is going? Anyway, we'll get there together. Come back tomorrow for more. We'll see what happens next. Mwah.